vote with the left 100% of the time. I don't even know why we pretend to call them moderates. They don't represent Virginia. They are as far left as you can get, but they claim to be moderates because they're from a purple state. So it's all just positioning and posturing, and it's very frustrating.
Well, and Noam Hansen, she's very popular right now, and everybody's after him. And, it comes right down to the fact that they're not supposed to be representing a party, whether it's the Democrat Party or the Republican Party. They're supposed to be representing their constituents, and he's at least pretending that that's what he's trying to do right now. He's going against his own party and, voting against the election bill and the voting against doing away with oh gosh, I can't even think what it is. Anyway, I'll think about it. All I can think of is the wrong word.
HR 1 and
the HR 1, yes, that, but also
and the filibuster.
Thank you. Filibuster was the word that wouldn't come. I need you. I need you on this Best Friends Day. I hear the music. We're headed into a break. I want to cover this a little bit more. And whatever's on your mind today, Daniel, I want you to share with my listeners. You're listening to CSC Talk Radio. This is Beth Ann with Daniel Turner. Visit his website. Daniel Turner it's powerofthefuture.com. I'm going to get something right here in a minute. Powerofthefuture.com. They've got all kinds of information there and articles written, and I love them because they're short and they're to the point. You're listening to CSC Talk Radio. Daniel, Beth Ann will be right back.
CSC Talk Radio's goal is to bring America home. That includes you and your business. Radio is a powerful way to brand your company and increase your profits. Find out how to join CSC Talk Radio, help educate and activate America, and grow your business at the same time. New customers? Looking to have your business reaching out from sea to shining sea? Advertise with CSC Talk Radio. Believe in your product? Let Beth Ann be your personal spokesperson to properly brand your product and company. It's simple, easy, and affordable. Grow your business, grow common sense, and together we will bring America home. To be a part of CSC Talk Radio, call 573-796-2166. That's 573-796-2166. Or send email to beth@csctalkradio.com.
Daniel Turner, founder and executive director of Power the Future, agrees that America is blessed with an abundance of reliable energy sources. Our natural resources are the lifeblood of our nation and have made our nation prosperous. Rural America is the heart of production in this nation. Our food, manufacturing, trucking, and yes, our energy. Power the Future promotes jobs in rural America, specifically our energy jobs. These jobs are all under attack. Wealthy radicals like Tom Steyer and George Soros promise to break the nation's energy independence. Their beloved Green New Deal attacks all that is good in this nation. Our food, our land, our jobs, our families, and of course, our gassy cows. Power the Future is fighting for you, rural America. Join them. Visit powerthefuture.com. See the latest news and donate to those who are fighting for you. Powerthefuture.com. Power the Future is fighting to keep America's lights on. Liberty Tabletop brings liberty to your table. For those of you who want to display your patriot hearts, set your table with Liberty, the new patriotic flatware pattern by Liberty Tabletop. Your dining table sets the mood for the American family and the American dream. Liberty honors our fallen heroes, the Liberty Bell, We the People with Stars and Stripes, our American Eagle, and the Statue of Liberty. Each piece of the Liberty flatware pattern is an art with elegance, high-quality work, and high-quality 1810 stainless American steel. Each piece is unique while conveying the same patriotic message. Liberty for all, and we love America. Order your set now, and a set as a gift for a special patriot in your life. Liberty Tabletop brings liberty home to your table. Use the promo code BethAnn and receive a discount. LibertyTabletop.com or call them 844-386-2338. and you're listening to CSC Talk Radio. This is Beth Ann. You know, Daniel, we play so much, or they do in our government. They play the politics game so much. And like I said, they're all about getting bigger government. And that means less for the people. And we've just seen so much in the last, well, it's been really decades. But in this last year and a half, we have the masking has unmasked the tyranny, and it's in every industry. And you know what Murkowski has allowed to happen in Alaska is a shame. And I'm looking at it. I don't want to go down that road because that's not necessarily where we want to go today. But I look at Fauci right now as a war criminal. I think he's no different than a war criminal. And the American people need to wake up to that. When our own people are lying to us, and it's our lives and livelihoods at stake, it's tyranny, and it's time for some people to go retire.
There's so much to unpack in what you said, and a couple of times on your wonderful program, we've talked of we've come to the defense of journalism, not journalists, but the need for a media, the role of what the media should be doing, and here's an example of what the media should be doing, and they don't. Right? They ask about ice cream flavors. They ask. Many people saw that clip of. Many people saw that clip of Brian Stelter over the weekend, who asked Jen Psaki, the White House press spokeswoman, what could we be doing to better get your message out? What are we getting wrong about your agenda? I mean, just absolutely sycophantic lapdog fangirlism. I mean, just disgusting level of collaboration.
They don't even try to hide it anymore.
No. And one of the ways where the media, I think, is so damaging, their current role is, you mentioned Joe Manchin and the filibuster, and now they are excoriating him for voting to keep the filibuster in place, or saying he will vote that way. People have come flat out and called him a racist, a white supremacist. The media keeps echoing this lie that the filibuster is an echo of Jim Crow. It's a racist tool. The Democrats last term used the filibuster 300 times when they were in the minority. Cory Booker, a black senator from New Jersey, used the filibuster personally to stop Tim Scott, a black senator from South Carolina, Republican, of moving his police reform bill forward. And at no point did the media say to Cory Booker, are you using a Jim Crow relic? And now they allow the Democrats, now that they're in the majority and they don't want opposition, now they allow them to claim these things. And there's no media pushback to say, wait a second, you used it 300 times last year. How bad could it possibly be? That's the damage the media is doing.
I've got a quote from Senator Rand Paul that says, a reminder that Democrats used the abominable tool of white supremacy, the filibuster, 327 times last year, and I'm sure it pained them each time. But am I incorrect? I mean, correct me if I am. Absolutely. Democrats, aren't they the ones who started the filibuster? Back in the day? It's been off and on through history. But
it's always been a tool of the Senate. I think probably they made it famous because they filibustered some really key legislation, especially the civil rights legislation back in the day. During the Eisenhower administration, they have used the filibuster multiple times. But I mean, it's always been a tool of the Senate, because the Senate is not a democracy. The Senate is a republic, and it's not supposed to get legislation passed through quickly. And as a result, now we have the new form of legislation, which is the executive order. What you can't get through in the Senate, you just wave and you say, well, I'll make an executive order. And that's just as damaging to the fabric of our country than what they're trying to do by eliminating the filibuster. Can't rewrite the rules to win.
You know, and I've got several quotes on laws and stuff that I'm not going to share just now, but I was on your website and I saw this little Albuquerque's push-pull, which pushes the new gas tax. We've had a little problem with that in Missouri. Well, they didn't want to put it before the people as a vote, so they went ahead and put it in, and of course they put it in with something else. So we've got the issue, and now I think they understand. I've been telling people on the air, call Governor Parsons and tell him, veto this. We don't want it. We can't handle it right now. Veto it. So I think they are reconsidering maybe putting it before the people. But it was interesting how Albuquerque put this out when I was reading your article there on your website. This is their poll. One question is, do you feel it would be best to wait until we are out of the pandemic to discuss an increase in the gas tax? And on number 7, should we wait until after the election to consider a new gas tax? It wasn't whether you wanted it or not, it's just when you want it.
It's happening.
Brace yourself. How long do you want to wait? It's coming. And,
Exactly.
I think a gas tax is ridiculous for everybody to be considering right now. But that's just me.
And look at
I don't think it's just me. I think there's a lot of people who feel the same way.
Yeah. If you really wanted to flip your governorship or your state legislature or your city council, pass a gas tax right now, because that is the surefire way to get whoever. Well, I don't care of your party. There are lots of Republicans who like gas taxes too. Mitt Romney being one of them.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That is the surefire way to lose your job, because that is just a direct. There's this silly notion that if we charge more tax, that somehow ExxonMobil or Chevron is going to pay more to the government. All they're going to do is just raise the prices. Exxon is not going to pay any more taxes. You can say, well, we need to raise the corporate tax rate to 90%. They'll say, great, guess what? Gas is now $17 a gallon. They are not paying more taxes. They will make the consumers pay more money. And that is why when they say, how did who was the Secretary of State who was the Exxon, the terrible Secretary of State at the beginning of the Trump administration, Rex Tillerson. How did Rex Tillerson make $30 million a year? That's why he made $30 million a year. He made sure that Exxon shareholders made money, and he charged the people whatever the heck they had to. That's why they're rich.
I thought about you last week when they came out with Exxon. They've got a third board member now that's Greenie Weenie, and pushing the green agendas. Well, I remembered something you told me, I think it was last year, that these big companies, they're okay with some of the restrictions because they can handle it. And it removes some of their competition. So why would Exxon be putting Greenie Weenies on their board?
Yeah, because I think some of the things that they proposed, this was a little bit of a hostile takeover of the board. I don't think Exxon wanted this person there.
Oh, okay. All right. That's what I needed to explain.
It shows you how well organized these leftists are, though. I mean, they contact their shareholders, and they get their folks on the board. But a lot of large corporations don't mind. This is the evil collusion of big government and big business. That it used to be a Democrat talking point, and the Republicans kind of secretly were like, shh, don't say anything. And now that has, in my lifetime, that has flipped. It is now the Democrats who are the party of big business, big corporations, big tech, and big government. And you can see big companies like Amazon, they love a $15 minimum wage because they know the mom and pop shop can't afford it. And so they'll gladly pay $15. Walmart loves a $15 minimum wage because they know your local little Millie's hardware store can't pay $15 million, and they want that hardware store to close. And so they like big legislation, big regulation, because it drives their competitors out of business.
And these big corporations, they're in bed with China. And it's, they're getting rich. And it's actually an abomination to the people here in the United States of America because, it's our jobs. And if you go in, and I know we've talked about this before, and you start picking up items, and how many things are not made in the USA, but look at how many things are made in China. There's other places too. But what if half of that was manufactured here in the United States, wouldn't we be wealthier? Wouldn't we, you could pay, the taxes would be more. I mean, the revenue from taxes would be more because more people would be working. And it's just, and I don't like taxes. I don't pretend that I like them. But it's just astonishing to me. But this fight against our energy, it's going to kill this nation. And we need people like you. We're heading into break. We're visiting today with Dan Turner of Power of the Future. Visit powerofthefuture.com, and Daniel and Beth Ann will be right back. You can look for the silver lining, or you can strengthen your portfolio with gold and silver. Optimism is planning for your own financial future. Melody Cederstrom of Discount Gold and Silver Trading has been watching our economy and the banksters for well over 20 years. The U.S. has an unsustainable debt. While the timing of a collapse cannot be predicted, we know the proverbial straw that breaks the camel's back weighs heavier and heavier with each new stimulus and omnibus bill. Because of our debt and the lack of solid those fiat dollars in your pocket continue to deflate in value. However, gold stays true wealth. Give Melody Cederstrom a call at 1-800-375-4188. That's 1-800-375-4188. Discount Gold and Silver Trading for all your precious metal needs. And join Melody weekday afternoons at 4 p.m. Eastern Time on Financial Survival Radio. Visit dgscoins.com. That's dgscoins.com. For such a time as this, we know that the heart of a nation takes on the heart of its people. If the people have turned from God, the nation is doomed in sin. God is in control of all nations and their leaders. Let every soul be subject to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except from God, and the authorities that exist are appointed by God. If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and will heal their land. The future of this nation is relying on the bended knees of the people, God's people. Will you accept this challenge to sacrifice 5 minutes a day to kneel and to pray? For such a time as this, Queen Esther was put in place by God to save her people. You have that same obligation now. Will you humble yourselves and pray, ask forgiveness, and trust in our God to heal our land and bring America home? You're familiar with Range Magazine, packed with hard, cold facts regarding the battles we face out on the range and at home. Beyond the battles are beauty and pictures and words that will take you to another place and time. CJ and Range Magazine have produced a line of hardbound books that should be a part of your home library. The most recent publication is Cowboys and Critters, containing unique photos of the people and animals that make up the ranching world. These beautiful books, which make fantastic gifts, have won numerous awards, such as the prestigious Wrangler Award, First Place in Journalism, Will Rogers Gold Medal Award. So many honors, great photos, and wonderful poems and stories of the West. Reflections of the West, brushstrokes, and balladeers. The Imbar, the Call of the Cow Country. You can't resist the art and cowboy poetry books. Visit rangemagazine.com for a complete list of prices. Call 1-800-RANGE-4U. That's 1-800-726-4348. Be sure to let them know Beth Ann sent you.
For centuries, those who raise, breed, and work with animals have been revered and lauded for what they do. Today, across America, the rights to own and raise animals are under attack by animal rights activists and their increased influence on government and non-government agencies. This onslaught regularly violates protection from legal search and seizure and a citizen's right to due process of the law, all of which are outlined specifically in the U.S. Constitution. Protect your animals, your animal enterprise, and your property from this abuse of power with a membership to the Cavalry Group. Membership provides immediate access to their team to protect law-abiding animal owners and animal enterprises against unwarranted search and seizure and false claims. They also work to protect their members' interests legislatively at the local, state, and federal levels. Get the shield that protects you, your animals, and your property. Join the Cavalry Group today. Call 855-748-4210 or go to their website at thecavalrygroup.com.
KPSC Talk Radio. This is Beth Ann. There's an article on your website, Daniel, that it kind of piques my interest, and that's how, because it's something that gets under my craw every once in a while when they start saying they're going to send money to one of these other countries. Anyway, it says rich nations funding poor nations to battle climate change is on the G7 agenda, and I know that we're constantly sending money somewhere else, and we want to fund abortions in Africa, which they claim everything is climate change, and it's just these people are profiting. I don't know how else to put it, but I saw Mark Levin. A lot of people are very hesitant to say it right out loud, but Mark did it Sunday night. Climate change is a hoax. And people have got to start understanding that they are using this climate change to upset our systems globally. Are you there? Oh, okay.
I am. Yeah, no, absolutely. I am, and I think it's important to see how the climate change hoax is being used, because we say, look, we need to do all these things to our economy because we are polluting so much. So we need to get rid of the combustion engine, get rid of our cows, change our diet. We need to buy solar panels and wind turbines from China. But then they say, well, but really America's only about 10% of the problem. 90% of the problem is other countries, and they're not able to do those things. So now we have to pay for them to change their diet and buy solar panels. And so basically America is once again now the slush fund for the whole world to become green. And so what's your incentive if you are any other country? If America's just going to pay you to become green, sure, but pay me to be green, you pay me whatever you want. You're buying me to dinner, Beth Ann, I'll eat soybeans if you want me to. I mean, heck, you're paying. I'll eat whatever you want me to eat at that restaurant. And that's kind of where we are with the climate nonsense. So America's going to go to this G7 summit. By the way, that same cabal of the G7 has agreed that we need a 15% global tax. I don't know what that is or where the money's going, but we've all decided, they have decided for us, that every citizen from the G7 countries should be taxed a 15% global corporate or global tax of some nonsense. But now they've decided that we need to send more money to other countries for them to fight climate change. And I understand the G7 leaders want to sit and talk and yak it up. That's great. But I didn't elect Emmanuel Macron, and I didn't elect Boris Johnson, and I didn't vote for any of these people, and they have no authority over me. So quite frankly, who the heck are they to say, we think the people of America should do X, Y, or Z? People used to say that a long, long, long time ago, and we fought a war to make them stop, and it was called the Revolution. And I don't want Europe ever again telling us we have to spend our money.
I've got a quote here that Rudy gave me this morning from a Democrat, Hubert Humphrey. He said, there are not enough jails, not enough police, not enough courts to enforce a law not supported by the people. Yet we're talking about taxes, we're talking about laws that are not for, by, or of the people, but they are at the people. And so he had a different outlook, at least when he was running back then. And he's absolutely right. And that's part of what we're putting up with. It goes back to my George Washington quote, the marvel of all history is the patience with which men and women submit to burdens unnecessarily laid upon them by the government. We've seen that in this pandemic. And now we're finding out that they made us do things that made no difference. They wrecked this country for them, so they would have more power and we would have less freedom. And the American people are going to have to wake up.
They are, and this was the initial plan of President Trump, and one of the key reasons why he was elected, and it is that refrain, "Drain the swamp." And I think he had every intention of draining the swamp, but sadly, in his first term, he had a Paul Ryan and a Mitch McConnell who did not feel the exact same way. And so what happened is the Democrats won, and they just for 4 years and 2 years then just talked about Russia and conspiracy theories, and we got absolutely nothing done. The Democrats now control all of government, and look at how they're using government to punish people. You mentioned Dr. Fauci. Look at what Obama did with the IRS, with the NSA. I mean,
and they're doing it again.
We never had a full reckoning with the fact that the President of the United States used the National Security Agency to spy on members of the media, and it's the media themselves who were like, it's okay, he's Obama and he's not a bad guy, and the media themselves were comfortable with it because they liked the ultimate agenda of big government. Dr. Fauci is a great example of these government bureaucrats who have way too much power. Joe Biden's FTA, the Firearms, Tobacco, Alcohol Administration, whatever it's called, is recategorizing handguns as short-barreled pistols, because now short-barreled rifles, because as a short-barreled rifle they can regulate handguns differently. And you say, well, it's not a short-barreled rifle, it's a handgun. Well, not if we decide to change the name. What is the goal of that? The goal of that is to control you. It's government that wants to control you.
The language is important, and they're constantly using it, just like assault weapon. Yeah. There's no weapon that assaults anybody. It's the person using the weapon that assaults.
Yeah. And this is why that drain the swamp vision of President Trump was so important, because it's not who controls the government, it's that the government has too much power. And we need to elect people who will dedicate themselves to shrinking the size of government. Fauci is one person, and he's very powerful, and he's the most highly paid person in the government. But you look at agencies, the Department of Energy, there are 16,000 people who work in that building. Well, not right now because of COVID. They're all still working from home, and I put working from home in the quotes, because we all know they don't do a darn thing to begin with. So for the last 18 months, they've really not done a darn thing.
But they've never missed a paycheck. I want America to understand that. We were never in this together. They never missed a paycheck. They never had to worry about their job or their place shutting down.
We contributed to their 401k, and they accrued paid time off this whole time. They got their step increases and their pay raises, all because that's what they have negotiated for themselves. And that's just one agency. And on a good day, if they were all in that big building there on Independence Avenue, you'd want to ask them, what the heck do you people do all day? You're 16,000 people. Not one of you pumps gas or drills or fracks or digs coal. What do you do?
Nothing.
The Department of Education. Not one of you is a teacher. But yet there are tens of thousands of you in this building, all doing what? Making trouble. That's the only thing they're doing. They are using resources, and they are making trouble. And we need to elect people who will destroy those agencies.
Overly paid paper shufflers.
Yeah, exactly.
And they shuffle less paper these days because it's all on the computer.
Yeah. And the amount of fights we are seeing at the local level of local school boards pushing critical race theory, pushing all of this transgender education, it makes you say the local place is where the power should be, because it is easy for this county to get together and say, we are getting rid of this Board of Education. But those yahoos in the Department of Education in D.C., they're not going anywhere.
Absolutely, and that's how we were designed. We were designed to be governed locally. Nobody knows best what should happen here in California, Missouri, Montauk County, state of Missouri than those who live here. D.C. was never supposed to be dictating down to the people. And that's what's happened. It's flip-flopped around, and it's inside, outside, upside down, and it's hurting the American people, and it's killing this nation. And I'm very, very concerned. I hear the music. Boy, Daniel, you said a mouthful then. I hear the music, and we are headed into a break, and we will be back with our final segment of today's show. You're listening to CSC Talk Radio with Beth Ann and Daniel Turner of Power the Future, powerthefuture.com.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet, so make a free call to Page Publishing. Their expert staff can help you turn your book idea into a real book, a masterpiece that could someday make the bestseller list in hard copy and digitally all across the world. Page Publishing can help you completely take your idea for a book, write it, and publish it. So if you want to join the ranks of some of the most famous authors in the world, call now for a free information kit. Turn your book idea into publishing gold. Make a free call right now to Page Publishing.
800-378-3212. 800-378-3212. 800-378-3212. That's 800-378-3212.
Hi, this is Beth Ann. The inventor and CEO of MyPillow is always looking for ways to solve everyday problems. Have you ever picked up a towel set because it felt so soft in the store, but then when you got it home and tried to use it, it wasn't absorbent at all? That's why MyPillow has developed the MyPillow towels. Towels that work, I know, it's mind-blowing. Towels that actually will dry you. They're debuting the MyPillow 6-piece towel set that includes 2 bath towels, 2 hand towels, and 2 washcloths. They come in a variety of colors, and right now you can buy one and get one free with the promo code BethAnn. Go to MyPillow.com now and click on the radio listener special. MyPillow products come with a 10-year warranty with their 60-day money-back guarantee. To get your buy one, get one free MyPillow towel set, go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener special, and enter promo code BethAnn, or call 1-800-978-6168. That's MyPillow.com, and the promo code is BethAnn. The old way of living with diabetes is a pain. You've got to remember to do your testing, and you always need to be sticking your fingers. The new way to live your life with diabetes is with a continuous glucose monitor. You simply apply a discrete, easy-to-use sensor on your body, and it continuously monitors your glucose levels, helping you more time in range and freeing you from painful finger pricks. If you test your blood sugar at least 4 times per day and inject insulin at least 3 times per day, or use an insulin pump and have private insurance or Medicare, you might be eligible for a CGM with little or no cost to you. Call U.S. Medical Supply today for a free benefits check. We offer free shipping, 90-day supplies, and